Hi everyone. Hello guys.
Come on, give me back.
Yes. Yeah, that's more like it. Yes. This thing was working while we were preparing. Okay, we'll just work like that. All right, I'm super honored to be here. My name is Kendi. I'm from Kenya, and I'm coming to speak to you about Flutter and augmented reality. So let's kick it off. Yes? So, what is AR? Anyone with an idea of what AR is? No? Yes? All right, that's why I'm here. Okay, cool. So augmented reality is an interactive experience that combines real world and computer generated content. And just so you know, that AR has been existing, and I think as human beings, we understand most things through visuals. For example, you're able to know, like, I'm in Rome when you see the Colosseum, right? I hope I'm pronouncing it right. And why is AR really important? Well, it helps in visual representation, and then it also helps us to remember things. And augmented reality is not only for remembering it's not only for just education, it's also for communication, like you're able to understand things. All right. But is that really it all? Not exactly. So what fields are we able to like use AR in? Yeah? So there are a couple of fields that we are able to use augmented reality in. For example, in engineering, like for instance, this particular, okay, it's not playing, let's leave it. So in engineering, yeah, you're able to like have it visualized, like how do I present my content such that I'm able to like understand, oh, if I'm fixing this particular tool, then I'm able to use this screw for this, for me to like continue working on this project that I'm working on. And not only through engineering, we are also able to like use it in medicine, where doctors use augmented reality to like know how do I go about creating a particular medicine for this particular disease or such stuff. And not only through medicine, we also have augmented reality through designs, like you want to like know, if I want this particular desk in my house, how am I going to like fix it even before I buy the commodity and have it fixed in my house? So augmented reality essentially helps you to like visualize things even before you have them in person or in real life. And I feel like that's a very amazing tool, because before you go about, sometimes we buy things that we end up not using at the end of the day. But what if we visualize them before we get them in our place or in how we want them? So this is where augmented reality plays in, and it's able to like give you visualization, like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted and it's working for me, and I feel like comfortable now purchasing it. All right, so is that all? No? Yes? Well, let's try a bit of code and see exactly what is this we are trying to preach. All right, so I'm gonna get to my demo. And before starting, you see when you run your Flutter create app, make sure that your application first runs before starting to implement the packages and the permissions for AR, because you might run into some issues, especially with CocoaPods. Has anyone ever run into issues with CocoaPods? No? Yes. Is it fun? It's definitely not fun. So yes, so before you include or change anything, just make sure that your application at least runs fast. All right, and the first step that we need to do is, after running our run app, the one that has the counter, which is super cool. Yeah, you need to like add your plugins, include them, include all your plugins that you're gonna use. For my case, I'm going to use the AR kit plugin simply because I'm testing my application with iOS. However, if you want to like run with the Android, you can try the AR core. So after including your packages, you need to change the plist. So this is where you like add permissions, and you can find that info.plist in the runner. So you need to like add this particular permission to allow your application to access the camera, and also you need to like add this other particular line so that you're giving it a description of exactly what you're doing. All right, so after doing all that magical stuff, then you come to like test your knowledge on how to write code. Sometimes it works, other times it doesn't, but this is why we're here. So I'm going to like explain a few things of how you go about it. So right after adding your packages, then you need to like create your methods. So this is where you add your particular methods that you're going to use, and then which are these, like the AR kit controller and the material. For my particular video, I'm going to use also the material video because I want to showcase to you something super cool. All right, and then after that, we need to like add our controllers. So we need our controllers so that we are able to go about this. And then after all this, you need to like add your node. You need to add your node, and yeah, you need to add your node. And for this particular code base, I'm using the AR kit box. The AR kit box. Okay, so let's try running our application and see if it actually runs. Okay. Flutter run. So I need to mirror it so that we are able to see our application. Yeah, it's installing. Great, so we have our application running. Let's see if it's displaying the video that we wish. Oh, great, so can you guys see it? Yes, we added it as a whole box. So this, trying to see the correct position for it to run. Okay. Oh, yeah, I can see the zebras and the wildebeest. Yes, and somebody seeing himself. Great. So another thing that I needed to like inform you is sometimes when you're using this particular video, it might not run because of how large your video is, of the size of your video. For this particular one, I couldn't run it because my video is really, really huge. So I had to use a URL instead. So that's a good thing with Flutter. It gives you like options on what to go about. If something doesn't work, you always have an alternative. However, in as much as we have all this, I feel like we also going through a challenge on the AR particular bits with Flutter because it's not fully supported. So maybe we need more improvement on it, and so that we are able now to create like our very own Flutter applications using AR. But what exactly was the purpose of this presentation? So the whole purpose of it was to revolutionize the tourism sector. Because again, if you guys want to visit a place, let's say for example you want to come to Kenya, we are very known of our wild animals and such stuff. Maybe you would want to know, so what goes on there? If there is a particular tourism company that you're coming with, then you're able to view like, oh, these are the experiences that I'm going to see, this is what I'm going to go through, and this is what I expect. So I feel like this would be an amazing thing to like be in that particular industry. And also if you're into business, it's also a cool tool to increase your bookings and to more money, yes. And I would also like to give a really big shout out to Alexandra. I mean, he opened up ways through this AR talks, and I feel like we personally have learned a lot through his video. Any questions? Yes?